In thinking of your corporate network today, there are many applications that you have deployed. These applications might be deployed across wireless LANs, wireless networks, even sometimes remote offices with VPN tunnels in between the offices. Today there are lots of performance and monitoring tools that give you the ability to really see how those applications are performing in those environments. As those users move out into the public cellular network, however, there really are no tools for monitoring and understanding what's happening, and it really feels like it's sort of a dark picture out there. There's questions that start arising in your head, such as, where and when do my users have coverage issues? Where is next generation technology being used, such as 3G and 4G? What about what carrier or device would perform best for this particular user or in this particular location? Are all of my devices performing effectively? Do I have the ability to troubleshoot devices, and are all of my deployed devices being used on a regular basis? These questions are what led NetMotion Wireless to develop Locality. Locality consists of a client piece of software that exists on the endpoint and a Locality server. That client gathers information about the cellular network and sends it to the server where many rich reports can be developed and viewed. Let's take a look. Locality contains many features and components to see visibility into your network performance on the cellular side. Let's take a look at a few of these features. First off, I can look at coverage maps, and I can zoom in on a particular location by any kind of an address. When I zoom into this location, it's going to display a map based on coverage information from my users. Because my users are running the Locality client, they are actually providing information to me to develop this map just by doing their jobs. As you can see, I've got carrier information for this location from all of my main carriers. I can now narrow down, if I wanted to a particular carrier to see where I might have coverage information data that has been given by my users. What I can even do is I can change this view to signal strength. Signal strength, then I can look at a view of, I know that this is information that I have about coverage, but in my location I can actually see what sort of signal strength my users have been getting, so I can look for any trouble spots. I can actually zoom into a particular location, and I can click on that location to find out more detailed information about what kind of data I have there, such as the average signal strength that I've seen, as well as the number of samples. This means in this case I've had 435 particular samples taken at that location, so I can feel pretty confident about that data. I can also easily compare carriers by just clicking on this tab, and I can look at things such as, would a particular carrier work better in a particular location? And again, all of this information is being provided to me just by my users driving around. I can also change from signal strength to technology type. This would give me things such as, am I getting 3G coverage where I think I am? Am I getting 4G coverage as I deploy my 4G devices? In addition, if I need to, I can even drill on a particular device. Let's say that I'm having problems with a particular device in the field. I can actually search on that device, and I can understand, given information about when that device was having problems, I can actually zoom in and understand exactly the route that device was taken, as well as information along that route in terms of signal strength, their connection, as well as even the carrier they were using. If I want to, I can even replay that user's route to actually zoom in more detail and see them traveling along that particular route to get more detailed information. I can pause along any location in that route, and I can actually move it around, and I can pay attention to the trace details to see what sort of signal strength they were getting there. This will help me to troubleshoot a device in the field and determine whether or not the problem was tied to the carrier or maybe the device itself. I can actually look at network usage as well to find easily in one location information about all my usage across all my carriers. This is very helpful if, for example, I am about to meet with my carrier. I can go into this screen and I can easily just click through these tabs, and I can see, here's my usage on the Sprint network. Let's say I want to understand what users I have on my Sprint network. I can easily click on the Users tab, and all of this information can be exported out to Excel. So I can easily export this information to Excel. I can understand what sort of users are on this network, talk to those users, and maybe get more information. I can also click into things such as last used plans. This tells me information about, in this case specifically Sprint, what devices in the field and the last time that they actually connected. In this case, I can look and see, well, I have devices that haven't connected in several months. Maybe I can go and find those devices and actually narrow down and maybe reuse those devices somewhere else in the field. If I have mobility analytics, I can also see what sort of applications are being run across this network. I can actually drill down a particular application in case I'm curious to see who's running this application. There may be some applications on the cellular network I don't want to be used because they consume a lot of bandwidth. In this case, I could then see that the streaming application is maybe something I don't want to use, and I can go actually into Mobility Console and I can create a policy to block that application. In addition, I can go to Dropped Connections. Dropped Connections is a great place for me to see all of my devices in the field and if they happen to be having problems. Maybe I know that in a particular month I've heard of a lot of drops happening, and I can look at the scatter graph which shows me signal strength against connections dropped per hour. I can interact with this information easily by just highlighting the information, and I can zoom in to see devices that maybe had particular problems in the field, such as this device dropped 24 times on the 17th of July. Then using that information, I can go back to my device map and I can actually see what might have happened with that particular device. Lastly, the other component that is very useful is inventory management. One of the things that I can do is, since I have all of these devices deployed with Locality clients, they're actually reporting back to me information about the devices themselves. I can see all of my cards in the field in one location. I can drill down into a particular manufacturer. Let's just say in this case I'm curious about Gobi cards in the field. I can easily click through a couple of clicks. I can see all of my Gobi cards deployed in the field, and I can even see firmware information. If there's a particular firmware I'm concerned with, I can click into that, and then I can even see who those users are of that firmware and the last time they were used. In this case, I can take that information and then go find those users and maybe update their firmware. As you can see, Locality is a feature-rich application. It allows you to improve worker productivity, decrease support costs, and help to manage your wireless data deployments more effectively. But don't take our word for it. Try Locality for free. We offer a 30-day trial evaluation with no purchase obligation. Just please give us a call, 1-866-262-7626. Thank you for your interest in NetMotion Locality.